Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my studio. My name is Hal. This is Quail Studio's guitar. We are going to talk about the dominant today. But before we actually just talk only about the dominant, let's start with the notes in the scale. We're going to start with C because the C scale doesn't have any sharps or flats. So C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, like that. C is called the tonic. It's the first note of the scale. D is called the supertonic, second note of the scale. E is the mediant, third note of the scale. F is the fourth note of the scale. It's called the subdominant. Here's the dominant. It's G, the fifth note of the scale. A, which is the submediant, the sixth note of the scale. The seventh note of the scale, which is called the leading tone or the leading note, and it goes to the next C, which is the octave from where we started, 8 notes up, 8 scale notes up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, the tonic again. So the most important note of that scale is the tonic. The most important note of any scale is the tonic, right there. In this case, it's a C. Now, the second most important note of any scale is the dominant, which is the G. Now, you can build chords on any note of the scale. The first note, which is the tonic, is a C chord. The notes in the chord are C, E, G, every other note in the scale, C, E, G. And then the G chord starts on G, G, B, D. There we go, G, B, D. I guess you could play it down here, right? I'm playing it an octave higher. Those are the notes in the dominant chord or the G chord. Now you can also have a dominant 7, which would be a, right there. You have an F. G, B, D, F, right? And so you can play a chord like this. If I play the C chord and then go to a G7, so that's a tonic going to a dominant. So the dominant is the 5 chord of any key, and the dominant wants to go to the tonic. That's what it wants to do more than anything else in the world. Okay? Each of these notes in the scale has a tendency to either want to move or be static. So what we have here, where does that note want to go? Right there. That's what you expect. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. Do, right? It's called the leading tone because it leads into the, from the B into the C. Now, what happens is that when we're playing a song, here's the G chord down here, the open position G chord. There's the leading tone right there. It wants to do right there. Can you hear that? And if we play the 7th, that F, which is the 4th note, wants to go back to the E like that. So we get this sound. So the F moves down to the E, and the B moves up to the C, like that. Okay, dominant, tonic. So in any key, you get a tonic note and a tonic chord, and a dominant note and a dominant chord. You could call it a dominant 7, like a G7 to a C. What's interesting about this is that if you play the C chord up here, right there, as a bar chord, now this is an E-shaped bar chord, and then you go up 2 frets and over to the A-shaped bar chord, that's a G chord, and that's a C chord. So dominant to tonic. You could do the 7, dominant 7, to the tonic, C. We can also do it down here. We could do the G chord down here. The G chord would be the E shape on the 3rd fret, going to the 3rd fret, A shape. That is a C chord. And this is a G chord. Let's zoom in so you can see better. When we are looking at our guitar, we can see easily, if we understand, where the dominant and tonic relationships are. Also, we need to know the notes on our guitar. So on a low E string, this is the low E string, that's our E, and this is our A. E, A. 1st fret is F, 3rd fret is G on the E string, 5th fret is A, B, 7, 8th fret is C, 10th fret is D, and then back to, on the 12th fret, back to the, where the 2 dots are, back to the E note. On the A string, A is open, B is 2nd fret, C is 3rd fret, 5th fret D, 7th fret E, F on 8, G on 10, A again on 12, where the 2 dots are. Now, what we talked about before is that when we have a G chord, we're going to be using these 2 chords right here. We're going to be using a G chord like this. It looks like an E chord shape. We're going to go up 3 frets, put a bar on it. That's our G. If we are in the key of G, that would be our tonic. And then our dominant would be a D. And how we find D, here's G, 3rd fret. We go up 2 frets over 1 string. Here's our tonic chord, G. Our dominant is D. Let's go to A. 5th fret on the E string to the 7th fret on the A string. Tonic, dominant. Let's go to B. Tonic, F sharp, dominant. C, 8th fret, tonic, dominant. That's a G chord, way up here on the neck. But you know what we can do? Here's our C chord. We could play a C chord down here, like that. That would be our tonic, and then our dominant looks like this. We're still on the same fret. Tonic, dominant. If we go to D, 5th fret, tonic, dominant. If we go to E, tonic, dominant. There's a B chord. Same thing happens down here. A chord, tonic, dominant. So you can figure out your chords, and you can use your tuner to help you. This is a Polytune clip by TC Electronic. I also have a Unitune clip. Unitune is a little less expensive. It works perfect, so you can use that kind of thing. Look in the description for a link so you can look at it. When I play my G chord here, on my tuner it says G, C, A, D, B, E, E, A. So it's tracking probably the loudest note, which is usually the bass note. If you've made it this far and you want to support me, look in the description for ways to do that. You can sign up at Patreon, you can sign up at Subscribestar, you can do a donation over at PayPal, and you can get on my email list, and you can get my book. I also have a theory book, which I've just barely updated again. So come and find me. I think I have like 119 songs in my book. It's lead sheets and tabs of songs that I've done on my channel. And the reason I do that is because these are what I write out for myself. These are not what I would call official tabs and lead sheets, but these are what I go off of to play the songs that I like, my notes. So you can have access to those. Oh, one more thing. Last thing. This music stand, they call it the capsule music stand. I've used it in my teaching and for months now. I love it. It's fantastic. I think I got it down in September last year. What is this? April 2025. So I've had it for months. I absolutely love this music stand. It moves out really well. Now, thank you so much for anybody who bought this with the link in the description. You get 15% off. I get a commission on it, of course, and I think it's fantastic. That's why I promote it. It's really great. Anyway, I'm not really showing you about it. If you want, I'll put right up in there, I'll put the video to what I talked about. I used to call it the Kraft Geek music stand because that's what they called it, but now they call it the capsule music stand. And thank you for buying this, and I hope you love it. Let me know if you have, and if you love it. I absolutely do.